This is part one of a build log of a new project that I'm working on, and it's going to be a blaster called Maytalk. And if you guys are Stargate fans, you'll immediately recognize the name. This is going to be a staff blaster. So I want to talk about, first of all, where I'm coming from for the core of this blaster. And I looked at a bunch of different materials for this. Let me back up. The idea here is to have the core of the staff be the rival magazine. And so I looked at different types of materials, different types of tubing that would suit this purpose, and I finally settled on 1-inch Schedule 80 PVC. If you've worked with pipes, you know Schedule 80 is the super thick stuff. And the 1-inch doesn't mean a whole lot in the schedule thing, because Schedule 80 pipe is like 1.3 inches wide, but the inner diameter, and that's what I really got me to choose this one, is 0.95, which is just a hair larger than a rival round. Let me grab a piece of the pipe here in a rival round, and I can kind of show you what we're talking about here. So, sliding under here, this is a piece that I've got cut, and you can kind of see, this is the rest of it. You got a rival round, and you can see how it fits perfectly on that. So that gives us a perfect inner diameter for a long rival magazine. So I've got this staff here is, keep moving it, 6 feet long. So the inner tube is going to hold about 80 rival rounds. So the staff magazine is going to hold rival rounds to that depth, and you'll have 80 round shots on here. So this is very beginnings. I've 3D printed an air adapter, and this is an old air compressor used for air mattresses that I had laying around. I cut the bottom shell off down here. You can see the motor. I've attached some XT60s just for testing purposes. And the intake is here. The outflow is here. The outflow goes through here. This is hollow, pushes the air here, and then is going to provide the airflow on the backside in order to feed the magazine. So what I'm looking at this so far with this is the feeding of the magazine of that. It's similar concept to like a proton pack or something along those lines. The Hurricane builds where you put that air compressor on here. The difference kind of is you've got that very single long, you've got no friction, perfect fit, staff tubing where the tube is the center of the magazine. So anyways, I've tested this. I actually tested it with the full 10-foot section of pipe, which was too long. And that reminds me, before I get to the testing, the other aspect of this Schedule 80 1-inch PVC is it is very sturdy. If you've played with a piece of PVC pipe, the normal stuff, it kind of flexes. At 6 feet, this has very little flex to it. At 10 feet, it started to get a little bit more flex. So at 6 feet, that's kind of why I chose a 6 foot. Other than that, that also makes a good staff length. But I chose a 6 foot section for this magazine because this material is very firm at about 6 feet. There's not going to be a whole lot of flexing, and there's going to be a decent amount of weight on both ends of this for the blaster. So I tested it with a full 10-foot section, filled it completely full of rival rounds. I think it was around 130 rival rounds or something like that I filled it up. And then attached this fan to the bottom of it. I had duct tape on it for the very first test, and turned it vertical, kicked the fan on, and it emptied the 30 rounds vertically up in the air. So I know I've got plenty of air power in the blower to feed rival rounds up into what's going to be a flywheel cage on the other side. So anyways, this is part one of the build log for Maytalk. Thanks for watching.